A very good morning, students. In such a bright morning, let's begin our day with learning science. So, today we are going to learn a very interesting chapter, that is lesson number 18, Ecosystem. Before starting with some topics, let's answer some questions. Which factors do you find in your surroundings? So, students, what all the things you see in the surroundings? In our surroundings, there are abiotic and biotic factors. The biotic factors are plants and animals in the surroundings. The invisible bacteria and fungi also have important role in the ecosystem as decomposers. Important abiotic factors are air, water, land, sunlight, etc. Now students, you all will be thinking, what are abiotic and biotic factors? Students, abiotic factors means non-living things. All the non-living things which are air, water, sunlight comes under abiotic factors. And the living things, that is plants, animals, we human beings, comes under biotic factors. And students, what are decomposers? Decomposers are small microorganisms. They also have important role. We will see in detail in our next slide. Okay? So students, is it clear? Abiotic factors are non-living things and biotic factors are living things which both the factors we can see in our surrounding. So question 2. Are these factors directly or indirectly related to you? So students, do you need biotic and abiotic factors for your survival? Yes, students, we need both the factors. Both the factors are related to us. Let it be directly or indirectly. We will see how. We are directly or indirectly connected to every single factor in the surrounding in which we reside. For the requirement of food, we are dependent on animals and plants. For our survival, we continuously need oxygen, water, and other minerals, etc. So, students, for our survival, we need food. For our growth, we need food. From where you get food, students? From plants and animals. And the main thing from which we survive by taking intake of oxygen. So both the factors are directly and indirectly related to us. Okay, students, is it clear? Now let's see what is ecosystem. The world around us is made up of living and non-living factors. Living are called biotic factors, while non-living are called abiotic factors. There is a continuous interaction between these living and non-living factors. Living organisms and their habitat environment are correlated with each other. The structure which is formed due to these reciprocal relationships is called an ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors and their interactions form an ecosystem. Now students, what it means? You know student, the world around us is very huge and it is made up of living and non-living factors, which we know this. We are living factors and there are many non-living factors which are present in our world. So we came to know about living factors are called as biotic factors while non-living are called as abiotic factors. So students, there is a continuous interaction between these living and non-living factors, like how living factors are plants, animals. So plants, we will take the example of plant to know the relationship between biotic and abiotic factor. Plant is a living organism. We know student, this plant is a living thing. What it do? It first of all, plant prepare its own food. How it prepare its own food, student? By taking the help of sunlight. And what is sunlight? Sunlight is a biotic factor. So plant which is a biotic factor, with the help of the abiotic factor, that is sunlight, prepare its food. So this is how there is the interaction between biotic factor and abiotic factor. Now we will take another example, like we human beings are living things. We are biotic factor. We need abiotic factor for a survival, like we need oxygen, we need water to drink to survive. Water is also main component. We need oxygen. Okay, students. So this is how the interaction between living and non-living factor goes on. So living organisms and their habitat environment are correlated with each other. Now you will think, what is habitat? Habitat means the place where it is staying or it is surviving. Now, the structure which is formed due to these reciprocal relationship is called an ecosystem. So, students, the continuous interaction goes on in abiotic factors and in biotic factors. So, a structure is formed to maintain the balance, to move it fluently. So, this is how the structure is formed, and the relationship between it is known as ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors and their interactions form an ecosystem. So, is it clear, students, what is an ecosystem? The interactions between biotic and abiotic factors are ecosystem. Now, students, let's study ecosystem in details by seeing its components. What are the components of ecosystem? Students, there are two components of ecosystem. One is abiotic factors, second is biotic factors. Now, in abiotic factors, again there are components. Abiotic factors contains physical and chemical. Physical, example of physical components are air, water, vapor, minerals, soil, sunlight. Physical means which we can see through our eyes. We can see air, water, soil, sunlight through our eyes. And in chemical, again it is divided into inorganic substances and organic substances. In inorganic substances, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, iron, potassium, sodium, etc. are present, and in organic substances, proteins, carbohydrate, lipids are placed. So students, do you know the difference between inorganic substance and organic substances? The major basic difference between inorganic substance and organic substances is organic substance contains the carbon compound in it. So, it is known as organic substance. So, hence the carbohydrate is placed in organic substance because carbon is present in carbohydrate. The substance which contains carbon in them are placed in organic substances. Okay, students? So, there are two components of ecosystem, abiotic factor and biotic factor. Abiotic factor is divided again into two, physical and chemical. Physical components are those which we can see through our eyes, like air, water, vapor, minerals, soil and sunlight. And the chemical factor is again divided into two, which is inorganic substances and organic substances. Examples of inorganic substances are hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, calcium, iron, potassium, sodium. And organic substances are proteins, carbohydrates and lipids. Organic substances are those which contains carbon atom. So carbohydrates is present in organic substances. Okay, students? Now the next component was biotic factors, which is also known as living factor. Biotic factor is divided into three, that is producers, consumers and decomposers. In producer, plants come. Now students, think over it. Producers is placed in plants. Producers means plants. Why plants? Because producers are autotrophic, that is plants are autotrophic. What do you mean by autotrophic? Which prepare their own food. Plants prepare their own food. Hence it is known as producers. They are producing. So it is known as producers. Plants are kept under producer. Second one is consumer. In consumer, animals come. Animals, we human beings comes in consumer. We cannot prepare their own food. Do we prepare our own food? No, we are dependent on plants. So, animals are placed under consumers. So, they consume food from plants. Now, third one is decomposer, in which microbes comes. Microbes means microorganisms. They play a very important role in biotic factors. So, now we will see in animals is again divided into three, that is primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. Now what is primary consumer? So students, there is suppose there is small grass. Grass is producer. It is a plant. It prepares its own food. And in primary consumer, we will take an example of grasshopper. Grasshopper will eat that grass. It is so the grasshopper is primary consumer. It is the first one to consume the grass, which was the producer. Now, who will consume grasshopper? There are large insects, those who eat small insects. So in secondary consumer, let's assume as frog. Frog will eat that grasshopper. So it is the secondary consumer. From plants, grasshopper will take the energy if it is primary consumer, and from the primary consumer, secondary consumer will take energy by eating it. So secondary consumer was frog. Now who can eat frog? There are many large birds or again large animals who can eat frog. So let's take the example of snake. Snake can eat the frog. So snake becomes the tertiary consumer. Are you able to understand, students? So our plant was producer, primary consumer was grasshopper, secondary consumer was frog, tertiary consumer was snake. And now what does decomposer mean? Now snake is a large reptile. So snake is not eaten by anyone. So what happens after its lifespan is completed? Snake die and it falls on the land. So what happens? All these decomposers, that is microorganisms, start eating and decaying that material. So this is how microorganism, which is placed under decomposers, helps in the ecosystem. So are you able to understand it, student? Components of ecosystem, how the ecosystem works? Okay. Now students, let's see the structure of an ecosystem. Now we came to know about components of ecosystem, how the two abiotic and biotic factors comes and work together and forms an ecosystem. Now what is the structure of an ecosystem? Living organisms need different types of abiotic factors and they have different capacities to adapt with those abiotic factors. Some microbes need oxygen while others don't. Some plants need more sunlight while others grow well in shade. So students, living organisms, we know living organisms all need abiotic factors at different capacities. So all organisms have different level of adaptation and different level of capacities. So some microbes need oxygen while others don't. Some organisms are very different from each other. Some needs oxygen, some don't need oxygen, some can survive without oxygen. Some plants need more sunlight for preparing their food or for growing it well. And some develop in shade also. Some grows in shade also, means in absence of sunlight. We know so students, there are different regions like desert region, tropical region, where the adaptation level or the capacities level is different. So this is the structure of an ecosystem, where the example is where plants need more sunlight. So the plants will adapt that nature, that environment, and will grow in that region. And which don't need sunlight, which can survive without sunlight, in the absence of sunlight, will grow in shade. Each and every abiotic factor, that is air, water, soil, sunlight, temperature, humidity, affects the biotic factors in the ecosystem. The abiotic factors in an ecosystem decide which biotic factor will survive in it and what will be their number. So students, what it means, if the abiotic factor in an ecosystem is at certain level and all the biotic factors will be dependent on that only. So if the abiotic factor is reduced in number, the level or the quantity is less, what will happen? The biotic factor will get affected. So it is the abiotic factors which decide how much biotic factor will survive in it, what is its capacity. Okay. The proportion of abiotic factors in an ecosystem is always changing as biotic factors use or excrete abiotic factors. Now, abiotic factors have definite percentage. It always changes because it depends on biotic factors. How much excretory material biotic factors is going to produce, how much by excreting it going to again give the abiotic factors. So its number is in proportion. It always changes because it depends on biotic factor. Every biotic factor affects abiotic factors as well as other biotic factors around it. Every living organism in an ecosystem plays a particular role while living, moving in that ecosystem. So, student, if something is there in the ecosystem, it's for some or the other use. Anything is not placed uselessly. Now, after seeing the components of ecosystem, structure of ecosystem, let's come to a next concept, that is niche. Now, what is niche? The position of any living organism in context to other living organism and the role it is playing is called niche. Now, students, I'll give you an example. With the help of that, you will be understanding. Example, a sunflower plant in a garden evolves oxygen in the air and provides food and shelter for insects like ants, honeybees, etc. So, what is niche? What is the meaning of niche? How the sunflower is growing and what all things it is doing for the ecosystem. Like the ecological niche involves both the place where an organism lives and the roles that an organism has in its habitat. So, niche means how the organism is living, in which place, and what are the roles that an organism is doing in its habitat. So the sunflower is growing in the backyard, which is includes absorbing light. It's absorbing the sunlight, water and nutrients for photosynthesis. And after growing, what all things it is doing for the ecosystem? It is providing shelter and food for other organisms, example bees, ants, etc., and giving off oxygen into the atmosphere. So this is how the niche is defined. The position of any living organism in context to other living organism and the role it is playing is called niche. So, students, for better understanding, niche in simple means an animal's roles in the community, what it eats and what eats it, what it is going to do in the community and what is going to eat it in the community. So, this is how niche is defined. We will see one more example of niche for our better understanding. Now, student, here is a barking tree frog. How does niche is classify? Now, student, here is a barking tree frog. Habitat of barking tree frog is wooded regions and wetlands. Its behaviors is often found in trees, can burrow, barking call attract mate. Okay, students. Now, what it feed on? It feeds on small insects. And frog is also a medium sized insect which can be eaten by large birds and large reptiles. So it is eaten by birds, snakes, raccoons. Now, what all things it does? What is the impact on ecosystem? By eating small insects, it limits insects in an ecosystem. It decreases the small insects level. It aerates soil. The soil aeration is very important for farming. So the frog helps in that, and it serves as food source. Food source for home students, for large reptiles and for big birds which eat frog. So this is all what is a niche. Now, let's see the interactions among factors of an ecosystem. Now, students, here is an example which we will be understanding for our betterment how the interactions takes place among the factors of ecosystem. Now, the first one comes here is flower, which is a producer. We know flower comes from the plants and plants are producer because they prepare their own food. Now after producer, second comes the consumer, which is a caterpillar. Now caterpillar is a primary consumer because it is the first one to eat the producer. Now after caterpillar, what comes? Frog is our secondary consumer because frog will be consuming caterpillar. And who will be going to eat frog? That is tertiary consumer, which is given as the example of snake. Frog will be eaten by snake. So it is the tertiary consumer. And now who will eat the snake? Is there any bird? Yes, owl. So owl is known as the top consumer, which is going to eat the snake. It is the top consumer because after owl, no one is there to eat the owl. So what will happen, students? Owl will eat the snake. Here the food chain gets over. But no, now owl is the top consumer. What happens? No one is going to eat the owl. But after the lifespan of owl, natural death takes place to owl, and what happens? Owl will fall on the land, and on the land various microorganisms, that is said as decomposers, will start eating the owl. And how? They will decay the owl's body. So this is how the interaction among the ecosystems takes place. If students think over it, if there are no frogs to eat the caterpillar are eating the plants, and there are no frogs to eat the caterpillar, directly snakes are there. What will happen, student? There will be no balance in the ecosystem. Caterpillar will increase more in number, more and more and more in number, and the frog is not there to eat the caterpillar. So caterpillar will increase more in number, and there will be imbalance in the ecosystem. So the interaction among the factors of an ecosystem is very important to work it very properly. Okay, students, do you understood what means interactions among factors of an ecosystem? How they're interacting together? Okay. Now let's see the interaction among factors of an ecosystem in detail. Now students, first we will start this flowchart with biotic factors. We know biotic factors are plants, which is producers, which is going to give heat in the process of preparing food. It will take sunlight and prepare its own food. Various things also carries on over here by preparing their food. Now what will happen? Plants will be eaten by primary consumer, which is also a biotic factor. Okay, primary consumer. After primary consumer, what comes? The secondary consumer, and after secondary consumer, tertiary consumer comes. Tertiary consumer is also the top consumer. Okay, now what will happen after this process? Biotic factor plant, which is producer. Again the biotic factor come, which are consumer, in which primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer is there. After the tertiary consumer, what will happen? Suppose here is the example of tiger. Now no, it is the top consumer, which is also tertiary consumer. What will happen? No one is going to eat the tiger. So after the age limit expands, after the age limit gets over of tiger, what will happen? It will die and it will fall on the land. And what will happen there? All the decomposers, which are microorganisms, will come and start eating that tiger, and they will decay that material. In this process, what happens? When they are decaying the tiger, when they are eating the tiger, various gases released. That's why you may be knowing, students, whenever there is a rat or mouse or any small animal, that is cat or any dog is dead, what happens? You can smell a very pungent smell, because the chemical reaction is taking place while the decomposers, that are microorganisms, are eating the tiger. So what is that pungent smell? It is the gas. And what is gas, students? It is abiotic factor. Understood, students? How the abiotic factor again comes from the biotic factors? How the chain is going on? From biotic factors, plants, that is producers, and producers are going to be eaten by primary consumer. From primary consumer, secondary consumer is going to eat the primary consumer, and secondary consumer is going to eaten by the tertiary consumer. And when the tertiary consumer dies, there is microorganism, which are decomposers, to decay the tertiary consumer. And when the process is going on, when they are eating that tertiary consumer, various chemical reaction takes place. There is the release of gaseous thing. The gaseous thing is nothing but the abiotic factor. Again the abiotic factor is released, and the abiotic factor again is used by the biotic factor, that is plant, because plant needs air, sunlight again to grow. So this is how the chain goes on. This is how the interaction takes place between the factors of ecosystem. Hope so, students, your all concepts of interaction is cleared. Now, students, moving to the next concept, let's answer some questions. Question 1. What is the role of microbes in above interactions? Microbes play the role of decomposers in the interaction. We learned this, students. After the tertiary consumer dies, what happen? All the microorganisms comes and start eating that animal. That is, they decay all the material. So this is the interaction. This is the role of microbes which helps in the interaction. Okay, students. Now question 2. How do producers obtain abiotic factors? We learned this also, students. How do producers obtain abiotic factors? Producers obtain solar energy from sunlight, that is plants. The other nutrients are obtained from soil, water and air. Okay, students, is it clear? Plants need sunlight. Okay, producers obtain solar energy from sunlight. The other nutrients are obtained from soil, water and air. Now question 3. From where do consumers get their food? From where consumers get their food, students? Tertiary consumer get their food from secondary consumer, and secondary consumer get their food from primary consumer. And from where the primary consumer get their food? That is from the producers, which are plants. So our answer is clear. Consumers get their food from their producers and other consumers. Many of the ecosystems are complex and there is tremendous quantitative and qualitative variety of species in them. Yes, students, ecosystem is very complex because there is many different types of species present. There is no like that only one type of species is present. There are many different types of species. Like some species stay on land, some species stay in water, and how they are working. So this is all about the complex ecosystem. In ecosystems of tropical country like India, few species of living organisms are found everywhere in a large number. Like a few species are found everywhere in large number, like we can see cats, dogs, mostly cats, dogs. These are also type of species which we can found in large number everywhere. Remaining species of plants and animals are found in a small number. Some species are very rare, students. Rare means they are found very rarely because they need those adaptive conditions to survive. So they are not found everywhere. Some species are very few in number. Their quantity is very few. Variety of ecosystems is found on Earth. Yes, students, you can see on Earth variety of species of plants also and of animals also. There are different types of plants, there are different types of animals. Each place has a different ecosystem. Now, students, everywhere there are different ecosystem because the habitat, their mode of eating, mode of taking nutrition is different to different species. So each place has a different ecosystem. Like forest ecosystem is different, pond ecosystem is different, in ocean there is different ecosystem, in river which species are living, it depends on them how they are going to work with together to form an ecosystem. So types of ecosystems are formed according to size, place, climate, types of plants and animals. How are the types of plants and animals in a certain place? That will decide the ecosystem of that place. The ecosystems are formed according to size, place, climate, types of plants and animals. It depends all on these things. Many types of ecosystems are found in biosphere. Their specific functions continue according to their environment. Now, students, what is biosphere? You will be thinking. Biosphere is the mixture of all three layers, that is lithosphere, which is land, hydrosphere, which is water, and our atmosphere, which is air. All three layers comes together and form a biosphere. So many types of ecosystem are found in biosphere. Like on land there is some ecosystem, some type of ecosystem. In water there will be aquatic type of ecosystem, and in air there will be some other type of ecosystem. It depends on what animals are staying there. So their functions continue according to their environment. Though these ecosystems look independent and different, they are linked to each other directly or indirectly. Therefore, we cannot separate these small ecosystems from each other, but can classify them according to their function. Students, now you will be thinking, in water there are only fish living, so their ecosystem will be different. No, students, yes, their ecosystem is different, but some or the other how they are linked to each other directly or indirectly. Therefore, we cannot separate this ecosystem from each other, but we are classifying them according to their function. Like we are saying, in water there are all fishes, so there is aquatic ecosystem. So this is how we are only classifying them, but we cannot separate them from each other because they are linked to each other directly or indirectly. In some regions on Earth, a large area has same climate and abiotic factors. We know, student, there are many regions on Earth. So in a large area, there is same climate and same abiotic factors. So the living organism in those areas are also similar. In a specific region, we can say there are same type of species we can found because there is the climatic condition there is same, so it is suitable to that species, so we can found that species there only. So a specific ecosystem develops in a vast area. So by adapting the climatic condition over there, there will be development of a specific ecosystem. So such a large ecosystems are called biomes. Now what is biome, students? Where large ecosystems develop in some regions on Earth with same climate, biotic and abiotic factors are called biomes. These biomes contain many small ecosystems. Is it clear, students? On Earth, there are large regions. So in some large area there is specific climate, so in that specific climate there will be same abiotic factors. So in that same abiotic factor there will be survival of many species which are biotic factors. So in a large ecosystems, development in same regions on Earth with same climate, biotic and abiotic factors are called biomes. These biomes contain many small ecosystems. So students, we know Earth itself is a vast ecosystem. So two types of ecosystems are found on the Earth, that is land biomes and aquatic biomes. Students, on Earth there are land and also water. So the biome will be on land also and in aquatic regions also. So the biome is divided into two. Divided, but there are two types of biomes found on Earth, land biome and aquatic biome, because our Earth is having some region which is land and the other region which is water. So we can see both type of ecosystem on Earth. Land biome means the animals or factors which are on land, and aquatic biomes where all aquatic plants and aquatic species will be surviving. So students, this was about biome. So students, in simple, what is a biome? A biome is a grouping of ecosystems with similar biotic and abiotic conditions. Let's see the definition of biome once again. What is biomes? Large ecosystems develop in some regions on Earth with same climate, biotic and abiotic factors are called biomes. These biomes contain many small ecosystems. The word same is very important here, students. With same climate, same biotic and abiotic factors are called biomes. Hope so, students. Biome is very much clear to you all. So students, this was all about today's session. To get your concept more clear, please re-see the video repeatedly. Thank you so much, students, for your attention. Have a nice day.